Perfect.
Go ahead.
All right.
But yeah, since we're already rolling with Marshawn Lynch here, he looks fresh. Do you think that's more of a result of him just being out for a year? Is that going to more help him or harm him? A lot of the fantasy owners are really quabbling. He's been out for a year and things are going to, 31-year-old back out of the league for a year. It's really hurting him. But what do you think? Is that going to actually help him or what?
I think it's more of a positive than negative. I think it's definitely going to help him. He's older. There's not a lot of history of older backs doing well, but it's like he has been preserved. He's like, what is he, 31? It's more like he's 30. I think the year he was really breaking down toward the end in Seattle, he needed time off. He got the time off. I mean, using the logic that it'd be bad for him to take a year off, that means you'd rather have Adrian Peterson, who's coming off a serious knee injury. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I'd rather have the fresh back with fresh legs. No question. I think Marshawn Lynch was a big time signing, and he's going to be a huge difference maker for them, and I'll explain why in a minute.
Why do you think so? Let's hear it.
Yeah, explain it now. We want it now.
Here's how it works. Last year, the way you stopped the Raiders was to double Crabtree and Cooper. You wanted to play too deep. So safety's cheating towards both wide receivers. So that leaves 7 men in the box. Are you going to leave 7 men in the box against Marshawn Lynch? Because the Raiders are going to give it to him and he's going to kill 7-man box. So now defenses have a real problem. Do you play 8 in the box? And then if you do, which wide receiver are you going to leave in single coverage, Cooper or Crabtree? So there's really no correct way to defend the Raiders' offense now. And the decision-making process for the offensive coordinator and for the quarterback, Derek Carr, just got a lot easier. They can just see what the defense is doing. Oh, you're going to play too deep? I'll run it. You're going to play 8 in the box? Let me find my one-on-one matchup. Boom. I mean, this is going to be one of the best offense, a better offense than it was last year significantly.
And it was a juggernaut last year.
Right.
Real quick, before we move into the passing game, what kind of work do you expect from Marshawn Lynch? I know last year it was kind of like a 3-headed committee. Do you see a committee again, or is this going to be a clear featured back? What type of workload do you see for Lynch?
That's a good question, because for all the positives I've just said about him, how he's fresh and how he's going to have 7-man boxes, I don't know if I would invest in him in fantasy, because the entire goal for this team is to keep Lynch fresh for the playoffs. They're playing for the playoffs, and I don't think he's going to get many games where he has more than 20 carries. I mean, I think they're going to want to keep him below 17. 17 would be probably the tops. And if you think about situational football, they'll give him the ball early in the game when it's close. But if they have big leads in the second half and they want to run the ball to run out the clock, they're not going to give. I would imagine they wouldn't give it to Lynch, because that would just be a waste. You'd be overusing him, running him down, grinding him down in a game you already have won. So I think he's not going to get – ideally, they're not going to use him too much during the season. Now, a lot of running backs only get the ball 16, 17 times a game and do well. But I think that's going to be about his cap.
Okay. What do you think his numbers are going to look like, or are you willing to stick your neck out on that?
Well, I can't do the math. I haven't done the math, but if you say – let's say he averages 17 carries a game and averages more than 4.5 yards a carry and gets red zone carries, gets about 10 touchdowns, maybe he'd be a better fantasy option than I give him credit for. I mean, what does that come out to? More than 1,000
maybe
yards,
like
right?
1,000 yards, 10 TDs, something like that.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, that's a nice running back to have.
Solid running back too, even low end running back 1. I can take that. And even 10 TDs, that could be. You're talking about this being one of the best offenses in the leagues, and he's one of the best goal line hammers. Could be a conservative approach. 10 TDs. I think maybe even 12 is realistic. More than that potentially. I love Marshawn this year. I think it's a great set.
I think he's going to average a lot of yards per carry, because closer to 5, just because he's going to have so many 7-man boxes. That's a pass-first team, and teams are worried about Derek Carr and the wide receivers. Marshawn Lynch is going to gouge defenses.
I love that.
Just for the record, I went to buy beer yesterday, and I was wearing my Beast Mode shirt, and some guy started talking shit to me. I forgot that I live in New England.